To you, and this is the news update. We begin a news update in Enugu State, where the state governor, Dr. Peter Ndubisimba, is leading a comprehensive campaign to eradicate underage gambling in the state through a mix of cutting-edge technology, education, and collaboration. In a separate development, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the military to confront Boko Haram terrorists, bandits, and separatists, and other criminal gangs threatening the peace and sovereignty of the nation. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Data Protection Commission has fined multi-choice Nigeria over 766 million naira for breaching the Nigeria Data Protection Act. On the foreign scene, Israel's military says it would issue 54,000 call-up notices to ultra-Orthodox Jewish seminary students following a Supreme Court ruling mandating their conscription. Finally, on the news update, the Super Falcons of Nigeria began their 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations WAFCON campaign in emphatic fashion with a 3-0 victory over Tunisia. That's all on the news update. Stay for more right here on the Afia Morning Show. I am Oji Nwachuku. Good morning and welcome to the show.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breastfeeding. The frequency of breastfeeding determines the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing
Around current affairs in the eastern part of Nigeria.
This is Afia. Where is yours?
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV. Yes.
Program is the Afia Morning Show, and good morning once again. Welcome to a brand new week of broadcast, a really exciting week ahead as we delve into transportation, which is our major lead this week. Oji Wachuku is here. Oji, good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning, happy Monday. How was your weekend?
It was fantastically great.
Sounds awesome.
Yes, it does. I mean, that's what great stands for.
Yeah, okay, great. Welcome.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. What else do you want to hear?
Fantastically awkward. Of course, we're not here by ourselves. We do have Barrister Chidi Uja-Atumba, human rights lawyer, CEO Uja-Atumba and company. Barrister Chidi, good morning.
Good morning, Natalie and Mr. Oji.
Mr. Oji.
Week.
It's good to start the week again.
I know.
Seventh, and...
Yesterday was 7th. Today is 7th. Yes. So the next 7 days is my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting you on notice.
Thank you for helping us. Because I don't know whether Oji thought it was 2027 already. Because he was waiting 7/7, then he said, tongues. The tongue now start wagging. But what is this thing about tongues are wagging in society? You just see a big maybe post on social media, maybe weaker and something, tongues are wagging in Nigeria. What does that actually mean?
It's a narrative, is the conversation that is on the burner, you understand? When something is on the chessboard or when something is topical, you understand? It's a talking point. So it makes a whole lot of tongues to wag.
But why? Like, what does a wagging tongue look like? I try to picture it, like maybe you go to a room and everybody's tongue is just wagging. Because something has happened.
Something has happened.
You know, a lot of Afia correspondents decided to start wagging in every report. So, you know, tongues are wagging in Nigeria. I said, what on earth, John Kennedy, what on earth do you mean by tongues are wagging? But let's leave it at that. I mean, tongues cannot always wag, right? Let's look at some headlines this morning, see what tongues are wagging about, beginning with The Guardian. Oil theft eases despite $25.7 billion losses in 23 years as operators turn to barges. More Nigerians losing faith in Tinubu government, public institutions, poll reveals. Tariff hike shows new phone lines activation as operators get ultimatum. NLC warns against removal of labor issues from exclusive legislative list. Tinubu orders security agencies to crush bandits, separatists, others. Catholic group advocates electoral reform before 2027. Obi affirms 2027 presidential bid as weaker bets against his ambition, I beg your pardon. Police warn Ogun Ondo residents against a 777 called celebrations. I guess this is where Oji is jumping in from. Senate awaits certified true copy of Natasha's reinstatement order. 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. Rivers, Taraba top debt surge as 10 states account for 34% of subnational domestic debt. Nigeria's unity under attack from terrorists, separatists, Tinubu remarks. 2027 coalition crisis brews as ADC chairman set terms for alliance. Recapitalization, 5 banks hit CBN target ahead of deadline. Straight to Nigerian News Direct. 2027, Coalition of Hunger, Not Rescue. Wike blasts Obi, Atiku, Arebesola, other ADC leaders. Accuses coalition leaders of selfish politics, failed leadership legacies. Says Peter Obi's time has passed. Labour Party coalition with ADC, not anti-party, says Obi. NDDC holds 25th anniversary Thanksgiving as Governor Ayedatiwa lauds achievements. NDLEA uncovers cocaine in lipsticks, seizes $17.7 million fake travelers' checks. 2 years after Oni, Minister Idris Omotosho, others hail News Direct founder at Remembrance Book Launch. Senate stalls action on Senator Natasha's recall, awaits certified judgment. On to Salient Times. Nigerians' trust in Tinubu's government, NAS judiciary very low. This is according to a survey. We're removing barriers to improve Nigeria's food agric production, Tinubu says. Why investors are pouring money into Nigeria again? Ishekiri demand worry states not Toru Ebe as proposed. Dangote refinery shows government has no business doing business, according to the MAN DG. 36-year-old suspect intercepted on his way to deliver foodstuff drugs to bandits in Kwara community. NDDC trained Niger Delta youths with technical skills. Natasha were yet to receive certified true copy of judgment, the Senate says. Killings, Tinubu orders military to confront terrorist bandits. And finally, here for me on Daily Trust, Obi insists on 2027 contest as Atiku hints at running. Federal government puts presidential jet on sale in Switzerland. Leaked documents how FCTA worker was queried, arrested, detained. Millions of Nigerians in multi-dimensional poverty, according to NLC. 39 killed in Kano, Lagos, Ogun Road crashes. Boko Haram kills 9, injures 4 in Borno. Federal government finds multi-choice 766.2 million naira for violating Data Protection Act. Finally here, Nigeria cruise to 3-0 over Tunisia at WAFCON.
Okay, starting from this day. 2027 presidency in panic mode. ADC coalition alleges, insists president not governing Nigeria. Obi declares he won't buy 150 billion naira jets when people are dying. Zulum dismisses defection rumors, affirms loyalty to APC. Ex-police minister, other PDP members move to ADC in large number. LP collapses structure into coalition. South-South groups trade tackles over support for ADC. World Bank, Nigeria stuck in low middle income economy below Libya and Gabon. Stresses country not ranked among heavily indebted poor countries. Dan Data, Northern Governors Forum delegation, Atiku Zulum orders pay condolence visit to family in Kanu. Tinubu to military. We mustn't mortgage Nigeria's future to division indifference. Describes country's security challenges as existential. Gives military marching order to confront defeat those undermining Nigeria. Reiterates commitment to welfare of armed forces operational capacity. Lastly, right here on this day, Senate awaits certified judgment copy before actions on Natasha Akpoti-Uduagha's suspension. Daily Times. 85% Nigerians have no trust in Tinubu's government, says API report. FG offers relief for foreigners with expired visa. Recover local governments hijacked by governors. Group charges Nigerians. Tinubu tax military on response to insecurity. Constitution review must address injustice to Southeast, says Senator Ume. You can't enforce perceived order, Senate tells Akpoti-Uduagha. Wike to coalition. No comeback to desperate power grabbers. Moving over to Nigerian Tribune. I am going to contest for president in 2027, says Peter Obi. Wants enough to trust him. Dismisses VP slot deal with Atiku. justifies romance with ADC. Killings. Tinubu orders military to crush terrorists, bandits. 39 die in Kano, Lagos, Ogun crashes. We are yet to receive CTC of judgment on Natasha, says Senate. Kogi lawmaker vows to resume tomorrow. ADC plots to test coalition's strength with Lagos LG poll. Holds talk with PDP LP candidates. Again, Wike berates coalition leaders, accuses them of seeking power for personal interests. Northeast stakeholders hold pre-summit deliberations ahead of the Patriots confab. Moving over to Vanguard. ADC begins takeover of PDP structures in northern states. PDP calls defectors to ADC good riddance. I am loyal to APC, says Zulum. Dismisses defection rumor. Why Obi is still committed to LP, attributed to source. Atiku El-Rufai Obi's coalition is a fraud, APC scribe says. FG's reforms mere optics, not solutions, says ADC. You failed as interior minister, Wike tackles Arebe Sola. I am still in LP, says Peter Obi. I am contesting for president, not VP, says Peter Obi. NIN verification portal frustrates banks, telcos as downtime persists. You can catch that right there, page 26 of the Vanguard. Moving over to the last one right here, the Matrix. 2027 opposition's coalition threatened. Obi officially declares presidential ambition, rejects running mate option. You want to rescue your stomach, not Nigerians. Wike mocks coalition leaders. Nimasa reaffirms commitment to strengthening Nigeria's shipbuilding repair capacity. Docks deep blue vessel at Niger dock. Senate Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan heading for showdown. I will resume tomorrow, says Natasha. Senate we can't act on her suspension until court's judgment is received. BRICS Summit. Tinubu calls for re-evaluation of global governance structure orders. After Wike's expose, Sirap urges Tinubu to release NDDC audit report, prosecute offenders. NDPC fines multi-choice Nigeria 766 million naira for breaching Data Protection Act 2027. Our platform not available. Match themselves.
No, they can't match themselves. This is all about competence. It's all about who ADC will field at the end of the day. Are you seeing what is going on?
Yeah.
ADC is there. They are, now let's take this discussion into the report that says that the ADC is taking over the PDP structure. It's not only PDP structure that they are going for. They are going for PDP structure. They are going for LP structure. They are going for LP structure. And they are saying in other right that they will use the local government election that's coming up in Lagos, you understand, to test their popularity and to test the people. They are collapsing both the structure of LP and PDP and ADC, you understand? So it's going to be a massive movement. All we are saying is that let there be a level playground for all politicians to play out. Let there be no manipulation. Let there be no intimidation in voting pools, in polling booths and all the rest. Let the masses come out and vote. Because when you are complaining that a political party is not ruling very well, when you are complaining that the economy is not moving very well, when you are complaining that governance has gone down, everything has drifted down the precipice.
Let me jump in now. Nigerian News Direct 2027.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have a quick commercial break now. When the Morning Show returns, we'll continue this analysis in just moments. Stay with us. Still the Afia Morning Show. Of course, we're still here with Barrister Ojo Atumba assessing headlines. Beginning with continuing with Nigerian News Direct 2027 Coalition of Hunger, Not Rescue. Wike is blasting Obi, Atiku, and other coalition members. On this day, you're also seeing 2027 presidency in panic mode. ADC coalition alleges. Judging by the body language of the presidency, do you think that they are in panic mode, judging by the jabs Wike is throwing at the party, judging by the language of President Tinubu calling them political IDPs? Do you think that this government is actually in panic mode? Let's gain your thoughts.
I really support the notion that this government is jittering. You see this current government right now, they are jittering. They are really knowing that something is going to happen in 2027. Let me tell you something. When there was a coalition in 2015, Jonathan was calm, you understand? He wasn't throwing jabs with them because he was actually working, you understand? He feels that he has done a lot that will give people, convince Nigerians to vote for him. But when you have not done anything, what will you do? You start throwing tantrums, okay? You start engaging people who are forming the coalition. You can see how Wike is, attacking their person, not attacking the politics, not attacking the need for this coalition, not attacking actually what led. Let's ask ourselves this question. If the coalition that we formed in 2015, which ushered in APC, if it is a success, why are we forming a coalition 8 years after? Why are we forming another coalition 8 years after? If those who came together to form the 2015 coalition, if they were there to grab power and to develop Nigeria, let's also give these people the opportunity. Let them do something. Let's see what they can do. If you say they are hungry, which means that APC was hungry, okay, when they grabbed power from PDP in 2015. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. If the masses are not complaining, if things are okay, if there's nothing like fuel hike, okay, look, let me tell you, the hunger that is on the street of this nation is palpable. Is palpable. You can feel it. There are families that go to sleep some days without eating anything, without having anything to eat. And someone is saying, have you seen, look, the devaluation of Naira has really hurt our economy. To the extent that you can even have 5,000 Naira and still you don't know what to do with it.
All right, while we still contend with the hardship, Daily Trust, Obi insists on 2027 contest as Atiku hints at running. Obi has made it clear in an interview on another station that he will not be Atiku's running mate. So I'm trying to understand how two very reputable politicians, if we can say that, are within the same coalition, running, both with intentions of running for presidency. How is that going to work without crippling the African Democratic Congress in 2027? Do you see this becoming some kind of... Help us understand how this works. Yes, we know that Peter Obi is still part of the Labour Party. He made it clear. But it's also part of the coalition with someone else that wants to run for president.
Yes.
How does that work?
I think they have a strategy here, okay? They have a strategy because I've really sat down and I've thought long and hard about it. If Atiku is not campaigning, if Atiku is not on the list, it will whittle down his power. Atiku needs to be on the list. But we are expecting a situation whereby he will step down for Peter Obi, not even as his VP, step down for Peter Obi, probably lift his hand up. Because he needs to be on and running to garner the votes from the North. If Kwankwaso goes to be the VP for Tinubu, then we need a strong man in the North for AGC. And Atiku and El-Rufai will fill that.
Do you see Atiku agreeing to that?
Let me tell you one thing. Atiku is about to sort of actualize his long political ambition. And how can he do that? He can only do that by ensuring that Obi have already promised the coalition that I can do
just one term.
Just one term. And if he gets in there, he's a man of his words. He will do just one term. And guess what? Would that not be a political opportunity for Atiku? For the
considering Atiku's age?
Yes.
What about his age?
Atiku is still politically viable.
Yeah.
He's working with his real age. He's not working with a fake age. Those who have problem with those who are saying that they are 71, but meanwhile on record they are 91. That's the people we are having problem with. Atiku is still exercising. Atiku is still strong. Atiku still loves this. What it takes to offer Nigeria something better than what they have now. Okay. Let me tell you, if you remove Obi in this political picture, I will support Atiku with the last blood in my vein. Yes.
That's a strong declaration.
In the political atmosphere now, Atiku is the best. Minus Obi, Atiku is the best. Minus Obi, Atiku will win.
I want to raise an end, right? Let's play devil's advocates here. What if after the 4 years and everything went all well and fine, Obi as the president and all that, and people start clamoring he should complete his 8?
He should complete his 8.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
what he has done.
Let me tell you one thing. You remember what happened between Goodluck Jonathan when Yar'Adua died? Okay, Goodluck Jonathan entered into a pact with the North that he would do that remaining 4 years. After he wanted to go for another 4 years, what happened? That was why Atiku pulled away from PDP with 5 governors, and that was the citadel of what? Of APC with Tinubu from the west, from the south. Yeah. So I don't think Obi would want that to happen. Instead, let the North do their own 8 years and let Obi finish his own 4 years and hand over to another northerner to do his own another 4 years. So that political structure should not be altered. If Atiku, insists to contest as the AGC presidential flag bearer in 2027, then he's an agent of Tinubu.
I want to bring this into your thoughts too, because there was a question that was very silent. They asked Obi during the interview yesterday, do you think the North trusts you?
This is a coalition, okay? This is a coalition. Now, even if you don't trust somebody directly, you can trust the force of the coalition. You can trust other members of the coalition who are sitting on the same table with the person you don't even trust very well. You understand? What if the ticket of AGC comes out to be Obi and El-Rufai? Some Easterners don't trust El-Rufai. They don't trust him. They say that he's a religious person. You understand? That a whole lot he has made some utterances that do you know one of the most important, one of the dangerous issues haunting El-Rufai is the North not ticket, you understand? Because he was one of those that backed it up. And even when they got it, he came out and made some statement that the Christians could not even do anything. That cannot do anything. And politicians should watch their political statement, more especially when they're in power. You understand? They should watch it. Now, people are looking at a political structure that will see Obi and El Rufai. It's a tentative political structure where Obi and El Rufai, you understand, will become will run as the presidential flag bearer for ADC. Yeah. No, look at that. What do you think about that? What do you really think about that? So if you don't trust somebody directly, you can trust the structure that puts him into power. You can trust other people there. You can trust the agreement. I may not trust you, but me and you can agree to let something happen. All the people that came together to form APC, they didn't trust each other, but they had a coalition, they had a party, and they had a working agreement, which they have been keeping. Because it was supposed to be after Muhammad Buhari, okay? They said that the next person, that was why our president had the temerity and the guts to say, it is what? It is my turn. There was an agreement. It was written. And that was why he got all the support he got from the north. Because all those governors knew exactly that we have agreed. Head or tail, no matter what happened after Buhari, it is what? It is Tinubu. So that's the structure. That's the coalition. They have to agree and abide by that agreement at the end of the day.
Mm. Okay, still projecting stuff, right?
Okay.
With all these big wigs and their lifestyle and their political antecedents, right?
Yes.
Surrounding Obi, let's say that Obi becomes the president of Nigeria. Would these individuals, we heard about when Buhari was in power, the clan, the gang,
yes,
the people who calling the shots, not him literally, right? As we heard, right? As alleged. Do you think that these men would allow Obi seamlessly rule Nigeria without interfering here or there?
Yes, that question has been going around for quite a long time now, in this form that will P2B, you understand, his will he not clash with the will of other politicians that he is trying to form this coalition with? And let me address that question. Obi has an impeccable, tested and trusted character. And why I think ADC should build their presidential ambition around him is because when you get it right from the head, okay? When you get it right from the head, okay, it becomes a political character. Every minister, every appointee, ambassadors, they will all flow with that character that has been established from the head. Let me tell you why we are suffering now. It's because our president, he is not trustworthy. I'm sorry to say that, okay? I have my own opinion. The drug case, the age falsification, all those things surrounding him, you understand? It doesn't give him that political will and clout to put his feet down on the ground, you understand? To ensure that corruption is wiped out of this country. Yes, he can do it. He lacks the temerity because he has corruption issues. He has drug issue cases which have not been cleared up till now. We don't even know who our president is. You understand? So when we get someone who is right there, and in this instance now, where Nigerians are clamoring for a president or a leader who will lift them up from, a place where they have been for quite a long time, I don't think those people will be a kind of a clog in the will of Obi to achieve his political...
Let me jump in now, shifting away from politics to the matrix, and this is a major story. We've seen the Senate and Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan heading for a showdown. Natasha is saying that she would resume the Senate tomorrow being Tuesday, whereas the Senate is saying that they would not reinstate her until they receive the original true copy of the court judgment that has basically told her to resume her legislative duties. What do you make of this development in Senator Natasha's case?
It's really, I was even thinking that probably by now, they will have dropped their guard and leave this bickering and see how they can focus on burning issues concerning the country. But be that as it may, this is how democracy is developed. I don't think the certified true copy of the judgment is necessary before she will resume duties. But I understand also that the Senate wants to get the certified true copy so that they will know exactly what the courts actually, ruled. Because one thing is your lawyer telling you this is what the court said, and another thing is that the certified true copy of the judgment saying an entirely different thing. So I understand, but what is she coming to do? I don't think that they can use their inability to procure the certified true copy of the judgment, stopping her from resuming duty. This is a senator that represents a constituency. This is a senator, you understand, that has a whole. Do you know the damage they have done to her constituency? Because she have not been able to participate all this while. She have not been able to carry the will, the aspiration, and the wishes of the people to Senate, you understand, to represent them and to give them that representative that they require. So I think the high time they reinstate her and deal with the issue of certified true copy of judgment, later. The better for Nigeria and for the constituency that she represents.
But the angle we're coming from is that she wants to resume tomorrow.
Yes.
And the Senate is saying that they're not going to do that until they receive the certified true copy. What would be your legal advice at this point in time? That's on one side. On the second side, what do you suppose the atmosphere in the Senate would be like upon Senator Natasha's resumption?
The Senate has a leadership, okay? I will advise Natasha to abide by the leadership of the Senate. Because the Senate rules are bound on senators. They're not bound on any other. Once you're a senator, you are supposed to respect those principles and those rules. One of them is that you cannot have any other seat apart from the seat allocated to you by the senior president. And listen, it is from that seat, okay, that you project and you make declarations, you move motion, you do every other thing. So let her abide by it. Let her, if the Senate say you can't resume, she has lawyers, let them see how they can dialogue. I'm not envisaging a situation where she will now walk majestically and try to, force herself into the Senate plenary. It will not look good for Nigerian democracy. Let her see a way of working things out with the Senate leaders, and if they need to have a copy of the certified true copy of the judgment before she does that, let them have it. Such a way that the Nigerian Senate will not be embarrassed. Such a way that will not witness the kind of situation that we witnessed the other time. I think peace and serenity is also one of the fundamental principles that are good. For people who are making laws, they should also know how to obey laws. So that's my take on that. I wouldn't expect Natasha to be buzzy or to be disrespectful to the Senate rules and how they have said that they're going to do things. She also has friends there. Let her lobby. Let her wait for them to get. She has been away for a while. Her resuming duty tomorrow will not make much difference as long as she is following the rules of the Senate. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, sorry, we have to track back a bit. It was a silent question I wanted to ask you regarding security, because as yesterday, Peter Obi said something very silent, that he's going to declare war on insecurity if he becomes the president of Nigeria. But because of the question I asked you, would all these men surrounding him allow him rule seamlessly? Because we know that the insecurity we are experiencing in the country, where they are coming from, like the huge part of it, right? We know the region, we know the and all that, right? So, but now my question is that some people also in this coalition defended these people, these bandits, these terrorists one time. That's even at a point they were said that they were killing their people and all that, right? So if Peter Obi should declare war on insecurity, won't he face this backlash and pull back again from some of these men surrounding him in this coalition? Think about it.
I know exactly the scenario you have painted here, but if someone have committed a crime and Mr. President is trying to put machineries in motion to prosecute that person, what would you have to say about that? Will you say that he's not doing the right thing? Let me tell you, the politics that we're playing with insecurity needs to come to an end with a president, you understand, that is competent and compassionate about Nigeria. The rots in the military, the alleged rot in the military, you understand, they really, really need someone who can match up to them. The other time in 2023, when he was asked what he's going to do, the strategy that he will use to purge banditry, Boko Haram, and all this stuff. Do you know what he said? He said, I will not divulge it in the public. Yeah. And he can bring in foreigners. Yes, he can form an alliance with other foreign countries, you understand, to fight Boko Haram, to fight all these insurgency, you understand? And that's a whole lot of work. because there are IGP camps scattered all over the Northeast. You understand? So many IG camps. People have been pursued from their homeland. They have been, as in bandits and terrorists are occupying their father's land, cooking with their pots and everything, eating there while they're in IGP camp. So I don't think it will be a walk in the park, because it's endemic. It has really stayed for a very long time, and the communities have a way of harboring them. When you try to hit hard on them, you understand, they will blend with the miasma. You won't know who they are. They will blend with the community where you are fighting. So it's a work that requires intelligence. It's a work that requires a total overhauling of the military, and it's a work that requires partnership with other neighboring countries in that region. I think Obi will achieve it if he does the right thing, okay? If he goes out, you know, on a what do you call it, you know, if the military can just go out and start shooting sporadically, but if you work with intelligence, you can know the area where they are, and you can pick them up, you understand, and prosecute them. We want to see, we want to see bandits, being prosecuted, you understand, in tens, in hundreds. You can't see them being they will shoot and they will kill communities. We can't see that one has been arrested or one has been prosecuted. That's what we want to see. And I believe that with the kind of competency and compassion that Mr. Obi, that drive Peter Obi, if by God's grace he gets to that position, he will use his position as the president and the number one, to arrest this issue, or rather push it back to a minimum level. He may not wipe it out totally in 4 years, but he will push it back to a minimum level, whereby you can stay for 6 months and you cannot hear big banditry activities. I believe that he can do that. And let me tell you one thing. If he doesn't do it, these same people you are saying that will fight him, they will still use his inability to fight insecurity to also attack him. So he has to fight insecurity and wipe them out. That's the only option that he has. Fighting insecurity in Nigeria is a big political move. Anyone who does that, we could remember when there's nothing like Boko Haram, there was nothing like banditry. When Obasanjo started, we had problems like power, we had problems like education. There were so many things that Nigeria had to fight with. But insecurity coming into it right now, it has really, really been a thorn in the flesh of the Nigerian government. And we need a president who can fight it decisively with intelligence, not just on the pages of the newspaper. Yeah.
All right, let's look at this last headline on Daily Times. 83% Nigerians have no trust in Tinubu's government. We're seeing a survey that by API that has revealed that 53% of Nigerians have no trust, while the remaining 30%, so let me just get the exact figures to be 83. Extra sure. No, it's broken down. So we have 83% of Nigerians, little or no trust. We'll get the exact figures. Okay, 53% said they have no trust at all in the Tinubu government, while 30% admitted to having little trust. So there it's still on the lower margins of the trust scale. Yeah. They have little or no trust in President Tinubu, as well as the NAS Senate as well. So I want to know your
judiciary.
And the judiciary as well.
Are you trying to spread them?
You are among them, right?
I don't know why you're hitting your institution.
You only have to. That's what makes you a great analyst.
Yeah.
Can you tell us your reaction to this? Shall we call them shocking, or are they not so shocking statistics?
I know that, I know that presidential aid, they will come out and counter these and try to paint a better picture for APC. But the truth still remains that he who pays the piper dictates the tune at the end of the day. So we are not worried about all those analyses. Now, let me tell you something. Trust cannot be forced. Trust is reality. If I say I don't trust you, it's not just because I don't like your face, I don't like the way you speak English language. It's because you failed in certain areas where we expected you to, make an achievement. How can a man enter into power? That face, they say, subsidy gone. Do you know the effect of that statement? No. If you had conducted a public poll, if you have conducted, you will see that the popularity of Tinubu, starting from the time he became the president of this country, is nosediving. Why? You will use 6 items to do political campaign, and at the end of the day, you have not achieved anything. So what will make the survey to give him a score point or a high score point? Where are his political, the promises that he used to do campaign? He's not meeting any one of them. He is not meeting any one of them. A man who said, if I don't stabilize power, 6 months into my office, don't vote me again. So these are the indices. These are the KPI. These are the key performance indicators. These are the things that is informing the survey, because you're not meeting your political campaign promises, and you are also making life very, very difficult for people. So I think that survey is very, very correct. You understand? A whole lot of people have lost trust, not just, if I could say this, not just in APC, but in politicians. Yes, politicians. Nigerians are losing faith every day, because they will make one promise and they will not fulfill it at the end of the day. And if that allows me to talk a little bit on the amount of money that 10 governors in Nigeria have actually borrowed. It's domestic borrowing, and Enugu State's own is very, very high. But why I'm not bothered?
That's on the Punch. 10 states borrow 417 billion.
Why I'm not bothered is because when you come to Enugu State, you can see where those money are actually going in. You understand? Because that's the way they cripple the economy of a state. Because these are domestic borrowing. They'll borrow from bank, borrow. By the time they will leave office, the next coming governor will see that the coffers of the state is empty. There's no money there. This is also one of the things that lowers the trust of people on government. Because they'll borrow billions, and at the end of the day, you find out that those money find a way of going back into their own pocket. But they use state apparatus and everything to borrow the money. State was supposed to be developed. Industries were supposed to be built, jobs are supposed to be created, and unemployment is supposed to be pushed back. Medicare, you reduce it to its lowest, so that even people who are poor can get some, healthcare, all those healthcare something. So when you borrow money, let that money be put in the right place so that people can see what you are using that money to do. Government is all about legacy. What are you leaving behind? What are you leaving behind? Are you leaving debts behind, or are you leaving development behind? That's the question. So I think that survey, to a large extent, depicts but the feeling of the masses. It depicts the opinion of the masses in this current administration, because a lot has actually gone wrong, and we're not seeing signs that yes, all those economic and developmental policies are really picking up fire. Like, you can't really say in the next 6 months something will be better. All of a sudden, FUE started adding money. Understand? So people survey, they say Vox Populi, Vox Dei. People survey should be respected because that is the voice of the people.
All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Barrister Chidi, for making our time to be here with us today.
Thanks
we'll see how matters continue to develop. Many headlines today, lots of tongues are wagging.
And how tongues will be wagging.
Yeah, and also on the show today, lots of tongues will be wagging. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks for having me. And I wish you guys a very great week
ahead. You as well. Well, of course, you'll be part of that week, so let's not make it look like it's so far.
It's all good.
That's so far away. All right, the morning show returns in just seconds. We delve into regional stories in just minutes. Stay tuned. It's the Afia Morning Show live from Enugu this Monday morning. Now we take regional stories. The Abia State government is stepping up efforts to modernize transport in Umuahia and Aba with new bus stops and plans for electric buses. A move expected to cut high fares and reshape the state's transport system. Afia TV's Deputy Chief Correspondent Emmanuel Wazwe completes the story. Take a look.
Ambassador of Abia's urban centers, Umuahia and Aba, by thousands of tricycles, popularly called keke. For years, these three-wheelers have been the backbone of intra-city transport here. But they have also been at the center of growing complaints about skyrocketing fares. Now, the Abia State government says it is time for a change. It has begun constructing modern bus stops at strategic locations across the two cities. The goal? To pave the way for a fleet of electric buses that will form the nucleus of a harmonized, eco-friendly transport system. This was confirmed in this June 3 interview by the state's transport commissioner.
We're going to roll out 20 electric buses, and it's just going to be a pilot scheme. We want to start with that, and then later we'll improve on that. Again, the government wants to set the pace for urban mass transit to allow private investors to also come in. So that's why we're just starting off with 20 electric buses. And of course, the routes, they've all been mapped out now. The training of the drivers is ongoing. So, and all the support systems with that, we are trying to put up. The charging stations, we're going to put up about 12 in Aba and 8 in Umuahia.
Residents are cautiously optimistic.
I'm a student, so I want things that will be cheap. Most times I spend all my pocket money in transportation. But when the government makes our transport system to be cheap, at least it will save us some costs, so that we save up, because Nigeria is not funny.
When this transport system comes up, people will be so excited. There are people that cannot pay transport from here to Obani markets. With this system, with this transport system, I tell you, the business will be going fine. People will be free, they have the joy. The enthusiasm will be there that they want to go out and then meet their daily needs, because the transport system will be affordable.
Abians will like it. It's a good one for us because we need transport. We don't have transportation system. To be sincere, it's keke. We need a road network that will be like Port Harcourt, Lagos State and other places. To be a good one.
From the day one we heard it from governor, we've been praying for him, for us to see it come to pass. We like it. We are waiting to welcome it. We cherish it. We really welcome it.
But for keke operators, the proposed system leaves a bittersweet taste, with concerns about how it will affect them.
So the price will reduce somehow, because some people can afford the keke napep price, some people can afford that $1 price. So anyone you can afford, you join.
A welcome development is very fantastic, but I hope it will not affect keke people. I hope they will allow them to be coming up with their own keke, because if you stop them, it will be unfair.
Definitely, it's going to. Mostly that those people that are on a higher purchase. But I believe the electric bus for the front of the state is going to, at least to make this fuel that we are using, this fuel consumable, to be lesser. But I know that it will affect us being people. Sure.
The high cost of owning a keke, especially on hire purchase arrangements, has left many operators struggling to break even at 7 million naira against the market price of 3.8 million naira. For now, the keke remains king of the road. But as Abia looks forward to a cleaner, more organized transport system, the question remains how soon and how smooth will the transition be? In Umuahia, Emmanuel Wazwe reporting.
Thank you for that story, Emmanuel. I think there's some kind of synergy going on in the region where we're seeing the state governors coming up with advanced transport infrastructure systems.
Yeah.
Oji, how do you feel?
Cities in the southeast Nigeria, they're trying to upgrade and develop it. Yes, there are always merits and demerits to these things, right? Keke people on the other side would want to, because they know that definitely they're going to lose those routes. But if you want your city to be international, akin or like, so you have to upgrade it. It has to be neat with all those infrastructures. Now, CNG buses and all that, and even the electrical vehicles and all that, right? So if you want your city to be upgraded to an international standard, you need to clean it up. So sometimes these tricycles and all that make city look littered and dirty, right? So that's what comes with development, the merits and the demerits. But at the end of the day, it's for an upgrade, and which is very essential. And it's great that almost all the southeastern states are building that synergy and making sure that these things are feasible and viable.
Right. All right, let's shift away from there now to Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, where the Christian Association of Nigeria, Ebonyi State chapter, has issued a strong condemnation of the recent tragic killing of 13 Ebonyi indigents in Anambra State. Reports from Afia TV correspondent Chijoke Ndoku indicates that a tragic incident took place on the evening of June 30th, 2025, when unidentified assailants launched an unprovoked attack in Oboji, situated in Norumba South local government area on Anambra State. The report.
Concerned citizens, he is committed to seeing an end to this violence. State and federal government to take decisive action to prevent such occurrence from repeating in the future.
Utter dismay and heavy heart that the church in Ebonyi State, under the umbrella of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN Ebonyi State chapter, received the news of the unfortunate killing of about 13 Ebonyi indigents residing in Anambra State, with others injured in an unprovoked deadly attack by unidentified assailants on the evening of Monday, the 30th day of July 2025.
Reverend Joseph Origbo, the secretary of CAN Ebonyi State, joined a condemnation criticizing the audacity of the perpetrators, echoing the sentiment of many community members who are in disbelief over the attack.
Of what our CAN chairman has presented, I wish to let the press know that as the Christian Association of Nigeria Ebonyi State chapter, we stand with the families of the Ebonians who were murdered in Anambra State. We stand with the Ebonyi State government in finding out the truth behind such gruesome murder. I will also support the investigations being done or still yet to be done by the Anambra State government. But our take is this, that there should be a concerted effort to bring out and bring to book those who are responsible and behind for such a murder.
Joseph Mwibo, the vice chairman of CAN, further affirmed that the bruising act demonstrated a severe lack of respect for morality, the rule of law, and the sanctity of human life. He urged the government and security agents to intensify the effort to ensure the safety and protection of all citizens, irrespective of the origin.
And this will go a long way to not only condemning the gruesome killing of these people, but also to let the world know that we're not happy, we're saddened And the government of Ebonyi State will also know that we're feeling the pain with it, with them. And also the bereaved family. It is not easy. To me, it was a great shock. And especially when I watched it online and all this and that. And it is, and just as you described, it is barbaric, it is uncalled for. We can't imagine that a fellow human being could point a gun at a close range to kill somebody. It is condemnable. But we pray that God will help all of us.
The swift and resolute response from the Christian Association of Nigeria underscored the urgent need for societal reflection and immediate action to combat the rising tide of violence and insecurity plaguing Nigeria. The community remains on high alert as they seek justice for the victims and commitment to safeguarding their lives in the future. In Abakaliki, Chijo Kenjok reporting Afia TV.
Thank you, Chijoke, for that story. We do apologize for the minor technical faults we experienced at the onset of that story, where it appeared that the frame did turn upside down. That was a technical glitch that was later rectified. Apologies once again for that. Now we start our discussions where, in a significant milestone in Enugu Air, a state-owned airline operated by XCJet will launch officially today with its inaugural flight from Lagos to Enugu. Now, discussions around this have been going on all through the weekend, and of course across Nigeria as well. People asking, what will the implications be that Enugu State has now floated its own airline that would be operated by XCJet? How is it going to impact the aviation industry in the region and of course outside the region as well? Dr. Ambrose Iboke, political analyst, Chairman Guild Public Affairs Analyst in Enugu State, joins us now to help us broaden our perspective on this inaugural flight. Dr. Ambrose, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, good morning.
Let's start with your first appreciation of what's going to happen today come 11-12 noon. What's your appreciation of the imminent launch of Enugu Air?
Well, it's long in coming. There have been so much talk about Enugu Air for the past 2 years. And the flight, we're told also that the inaugural flight was supposed to take place in December, to catch up with the Christmas time, but I think it didn't happen. So it's, dovetailed. Now, I think maybe the operational issues and many other issues that needed to be wrapped up were being worked on. And we missed the deadline of Christmas. Now we are catching up with the deadline. And by it setting up now, by the time Christmas comes in December, we look forward to, having, the governor said, I look forward to even bringing a lot of diasporans back home. Because, Enugu is a hub. It's a hub for a lot of movement. It's so centralized, that it is a hub for South, when you go to Ugogonike in the mornings, and watch traffic, you see vehicles from River State, Cross River, from Bayelsa, from even sometimes from Delta, Anambra, Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, all those people making their way through Enugu to the north. So it's a hub. And when you look around too, apart from the airport in Oka, I think towards Oka, in Anambra State, and Owerri, the whole axis of the other part of Kogi, Benue, Ebonyi, even Abia, and the airport they depend on still Enugu Airport. So it is a good move, especially when also the governor is talking about upgrading and having a very standard cargo terminal in the airport too, and. It's significant also in the fact that we are relying too much on just very few airlines. The only reliable one now is just Air Peace. We tried, the other ones are epileptic, So Enugu cannot depend on those kind of epileptic, thoroughfare of passengers. Mm-hmm. More so now that the governor is also talking about, having 3 million visitors to Enugu. Right. And then that also means that if they have to have that number remember the conference that had the surveyors came to Enugu for their national conference, you could see the huge number that turned out. and so many other people are coming. So will you depend on one trip from Abuja to Enugu or from Lagos to Enugu to do that? So you won't. So and that is one of the thinking that went behind that Enugu Air, so that you be in control of your air traffic,
right,
air transportation, rather than depending on third parties.
All right, we're going to come back in just a moment. Let's go on this quick break and just rectify a slight issue. Morning Show returns in just seconds. Stay with us. You're still watching the Afia Morning Show right here from Enugu, Nigeria. It's a big day in the state as the state-owned airline Enugu Air, operated by XCJet, is going to be launching today. Now, what we understand is that on ground we have 3 airlines, one aircraft in Abuja, another aircraft in Enugu, and yet another in Lagos. So now we have 3 Embraer aircrafts, 2 E170s and 1 E190. Oji, go ahead.
Okay. Well, from all you've been reading now, this is to say that it's very strategic. Having this airline in Enugu States, our state-owned airline, right, is very strategic. But let's talk about sustainability, because we know what happened to Imo Air. So now, what steps is the government of Enugu State going to take to sustain this airline, not just launching it, but see it, live up to expectation for years, even when this government, finishes, there's a continue.
Well, one of the things is that when you don't have serious deep thinking into a business, you just do it because others are doing it. First of all, the governor says he's building traffic, first of all, he built the institutions that will drive the traffic. For example, having the ICC, for example, International Conference Center, that can bring in huge number of people into the states, and that has been happening just a few months after it has been made renovated and revamped. You can see many things. He has hosted hackathon, tech fest. Yeah. It has hosted a former the Nigerian Economic Summit Group did something there. It has also hosted former speakers conference of Nigeria. It has hosted the Nigerian Institute of Surveyors, which is the far largest, group, more than 5,000. It has hosted the Nigerian Guild of Auditors, and then the almighty Nigerian Bar Association is coming here in August. So, what airline will you use for those kind of traffic? So he has already built the traffic base, the passenger base, before thinking about the airline. And from what the governor said, from his programs, he's talking about building the MICE sector. That's what we call the MICE sector. Meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibition sector. It's a huge sector that you need to tap into. We have everything to tap into. We have the tourism to tap into it. We now have the business to tap into it. We have everything. Now, if those people are come, that is why, for example, where will they stay? And that is where, for example, Hotel Presidential is coming up. There's also a hotel of 350 international conference, and a lot of hotels are coming, so that they can have where to stay. If you have like 10,000 people, as of 2 weeks ago, somebody in Nigeria Bar Association was like telling me that more than 5,000 lawyers have registered. That is just minimal. We are talking about in June, where an event taking place in August. So if that is the case, I have friends from all over the country calling me to look for hotels for them in Enugu. So it's going to be huge. Where will they stay? Will they depend on just one trip of airline to travel? So that is the thinking behind this kind of thing, that you don't depend just on mono. When the person cancels the flight, then you are in trouble. So while others, like for example, Ibom Air, for example, what's the former governor Obong Victor Cha, because I have some insider information what was happening. The airport, for example, over there was built for maintenance, as a maintenance hangar for aircraft, I think from A to D checks. That was the initial thinking. So it was not a passenger airport. So when you now come and just convert it and then say, we don't want to fly to Calabar and drive to you, then that is not a business thinking thing. But this one was carefully thought out, because I've listened to the governor talk a lot about this, and I can see that he has his plan laid out. Over the weekend, we had an interaction with him. He was talking about the 3 aircraft, as Natalie has said, that he's looking at extending to 10 aircrafts by December. And he has got a lot of calls from the diaspora already talking about, look, we're coming with our family to Nigeria. And then we go to Lagos, Abuja. Sometimes the connecting flights are not connecting. A lot of issues. You are with your family. Sometimes you are sleeping at the airport. So it's sometimes very complex and complicated for a lot of people. So what they are saying, how can we just fly down to Enugu? And then if I'm going to Oka, just take a trip, just easy. Or even people who are going to Benue, some parts of Benue or Kogi, they find this here nearer to them. So I think, and then also the mere fact that it's not going to be run by the bureaucracies of government and the rest, that is going to be run by, already a player in the industry. That also suggests the fact that it's going to be run well. And so for the benefit of the state, because it's an investment the state has made, and therefore it's not a welfare package. It's a capitalist venture. Therefore, the money must be recouped by the state. Hence, that. We talked about sustainability. One of the things I've been advising government or suggesting to government or recommending to government is that our PPP law should be domestic. There should be law passed by the State House of Assembly to give vent to the PPP arrangements that are going on, or concessionary arrangements and all those things. That we now have a very, very legal base for most of those things. And I think that governors is working on that to ensure that these things are there. And when you sign some of these agreements, then it behoves on the incoming person, when it's grounded in law, to keep to it. And the governor has also maintained that he is not, that the legacies he wants to build are not the ones that he will even see just for his 8-year tenure. But we're talking about that what we outlive and make Enugu State what it's going to be. Some people had a vision to build Singapore today. Singapore was nowhere just like 60 years ago. But if you see the picture of Dubai 20 years ago, 30 years ago, you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked the picture you saw. Enugu was even more looking better because it was like a desert strip. And so also, so many other countries, so many other cities we praise today, it starts with vision, building blocks of development until they were able to reach where they are today. So for me, when people are saying, it's not a priority, why we go into some of the airlines that have gone, though some of them have gone moribund, they are not functional or they are not profitable. Well, there are so many businesses that are not profitable where people are inside and making profits. So we have people who are taking delivery of new aircraft every day, and they are still in the business. So we have the business. So it depends on the business model you run and how you run your business. You don't say the airline business is not profitable. It's not true. People like Ethiopian Airlines, they are expanding their routes every day. We have airlines like the Iberian Airline, Alitalia, British Airways, all those, they say Eurojet, so many others that have been, running for many years. So you won't say because Nigerian Airways died, therefore Ethiopian Airways is not profitable. It is not a sound analysis. The analysis should be that when you compare, you ask, okay, how do you make this airline as profitable as the ones that are running and are profitable? And I think with this kind of arrangement, we look forward to a profitable business. And because when the business works well, it works well for us as people who are in Enugu.
That's right. Okay, let's look at other parts of this. We saw that the website Enugu Airlines went live on Saturday. When you do want to purchase a ticket, it directs you straight to what you're seeing on screen, ExeJet, that is currently operating the airline. And should Enugu Air be in a hurry to acquire its own license to start flying independently of ExeJet, or should it hold on to this as long as it possibly can?
Well, for now, at least the external brandings we are seeing, the brand visibility and exposure is Enugu Air. It's not carry ExeJet. It's carry Enugu Air. So we have solved the problem of visibility, first of all.
But you still see operated by ExeJet?
Yes, because, first of all, if you have aircraft, there are ways aircraft operators are being operated. One, it's either you buy the aircraft directly, then if you can purchase outrightly, then you may not have the operational capacity to run it. Then you may go into partnership with people to run it for you. Secondly, you can do what we call the wet lease, where basically the aircraft is leased to you, and then the people will provide the crew, the maintenance, and almost everything. And then, pay you something off. They will have the dry lease. The dry lease is basically, they just lease you the aircraft, and then you provide all other things. So, I'm not privy, for information I gather, I think it was an outright purchase. But if you now get that, then you can now, who will run it? Before you train your own capacity, your manpower, your local manpower to run it and the rest, will the aircraft just be packed at the hangars in the airport?
Gathering dust.
No, you have to make use of it because you invested heavily on that. So I think that is what is happening now. I'm not sure, but I don't know the details of the partnership between ExeJet and the government on this.
Yes.
But I think that it's normally done most of the time all over the world, especially for new airlines that are starting. I think maybe they will have number of years. Maybe when it stabilizes, then they can now fly on their own.
When it gets its own license to fly. Now, let's look at the airfares as well. Because a quick check, this was actually by Oji on Saturday, showed it might have changed. We know how airlines behave when seats start to fill up. But as
we even complain for, okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
When you read it out, then I continue.
Okay. So Saturday, we saw the economy promo going for 110,000. And 1 naira, economy plus 130,001 naira, business class 220,001 Nigerian naira. What do you think of these airfares when comparing to those of other airlines? And I would also like you to speak to what the launch of Enugu Air could mean for competitors in the aviation industry.
One good thing is that when there's monopoly, then you are at the mercy of the person, of the capitalist who is holding the levers of that business. Because what the person can do is it can arbitrarily increase the costs of your flight, or we can even tell you we are overbooked, what we have been seeing. Or the person can arbitrarily just wake up and cancel your time and say, we shift the flight. And for those frequent flyers, we know that if you are moving from Enugu to Abuja, you don't move in the morning flight, you are done for, okay? The same thing if you are coming from Abuja. So we have these lone flights, most of the time. It's not good for, I think, the vision that the Enugu want to create. So therefore, there has to be, competition, because competition in business is healthy for the consumers. So the price is, as I say, is a promo price. The price will stabilize as things goes, because you have the aviation fuel is not cheap. The better money you pay is not also cheap. But what happens now is that if there is how you operate your business, and then the experience of customers when they are flying. Those days when you enter aircraft, you served a very nice meal. Now when you enter aircraft, they serve you something that looks like what you are giving to a 5-year-old with straw and all those things. And one keep wondering, is this? So if customers love good experience, and ExeJet, when I checked their website yesterday, it's something that their niche is luxury flying, So I hope they bring that to there in Enugu, where they say, okay, when you fly, when they say the customer is king in the true sense of it, and you are feeling better, people will gradually gravitate to where they are treated better, where they have good experience and good experience for their money. The competition is good. For me, just one airline or two coming to Enugu doesn't serve the interest. And then this one, if the passengers are aware and know that we have like 3 flights to Enugu on a day, or even, and then you can schedule your time. And so I have alternative. And if you give them better experience and non-competitive price, of course, so the competition is good for the clients, and we hope that it will bring down the price, because the monopoly enjoyed by some airlines are making it go up. Sometimes you ask yourself, from Abuja to Lagos, sometimes it's far cheaper than from Abuja to Enugu. Meanwhile, Abuja to Enugu is shorter. So what's the problem? During Christmas time, you see cutthroat prices. It's amazing what people pay to, especially the diasporans. And some airlines have taken advantage of that, and just, sometimes 300% increase in airfares. So we know people who come back home who are complacent seriously. So if you have a direct flight, and then from US, from UK, and especially China, where our people, the majority of Igbos, that's why you see a lot of them. Then you will get it well. And one time, one of our relatives that came home last year, he comes home every year, and he keeps telling me that when you see people coming home during Christmas, that is amazing. And most of them are coming to the southeast.
Homecoming,
from the diaspora, coming from different parts of the world. And then when you go to airport in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, because that is the only international flight we have, they're stopping over at Addis Ababa before you start sorting out your other routes. Come and see our people over there. So if they have alternatives that can fly them directly home, that will go. Even if they need to pay a premium for it, they will.
Oji, go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about the economic importance, and the socio-economic importance of, this inaugural airline. Finally, a state-owned, Igbo-owned airline, Enugu Air, right? So, regarding the SMEs and even our tourism in Enugu State, can you outline the importance and how viable this airline would be for Ndi Enugu, in boosting our economy and, generating revenue, and maybe also this could be in line and tandem with regards to the $30 billion economy proposed to be built by the governor of Enugu State, the Governor Pitamba?
Aviation business generally is not a local business. It's an international business. It's highly, highly regulated by international authorities like IATA and some other agencies. So it's not something that you just jump into. It's not local. The airspace is heavily monitored. So when you are going to that, already you are going to an international business. Now, the international business is expected to bring international attention. It's supposed to now bring international interests. Imagine that somebody wants to come for a business meeting in Enugu, and it's in Washington, D.C., or in New York, and they can fly from New York directly here. I mean, what would the person do? The person comes directly. Or somebody wants to fly from South Africa and is here. And somebody wants to fly in from Abuja and is not rushing out in the morning. Maybe his meeting is by 3 p.m. and it's not rushing out
because the only flight is 9:35 or 9:40 from Abuja.
It has alternatives. So it will bring passengers to Enugu. They will spend their money here. It will bring crew. It will bring even the businesses, people who are coming here to start for businesses. The tourism sector will grow because if people have very easy to come, and then they want to really come to Enugu, then they have alternatives to fly. So these kind of businesses bring even a lot of FDIs will come in, foreign direct investment. Then we're looking at even foreign exchange, Forex, coming, especially when they start operating the international. We are talking about also a cargo airport, cargo terminal at the airport. When that is ready, you can see that people can easily move their goods. Instead of you can using your these containers on the road, endangering your goods, falling off and not falling off, spending days. You can actually move your this thing over here. And I hope also that some of the aircraft will not just be passenger aircraft. Well, of course, they will have cargo aircraft that will move. Imagine that when you go to Guangzhou, all these big provinces, that industrial provinces in China that our boys are, Igbo boys are really doing, or go to Japan and some of that where they import heavily from Europe, and you can import your goods directly from those places to Enugu. And there are warehouses that can, chuck them up, for example, and then stay there. You have peace of mind, and you're not moving them to Newi or Onisha or Aba. So you already have a place. So imagine that kind of business what we bring. The local people offload. There are a lot of people that work there. There are a lot of companies that will now come up, logistics companies, a lot of things.
That's right.
So the business opportunities, both direct and ancillary services it will create, are something that is unfathomable if it is run well. And I believe this one will be run well.
Away from opportunities, let's get your direct take on how successful you believe Enugu Air would be in the face of Nigeria's existing aviation structure.
Well, I always believe that if others are thriving in a particular business and you have the mindset to thrive, you will thrive. Okay? As we say downtown, they don't get 3 heads. So it's just 1 head also sitting on the neck. So if you apply the basic business principles and you run that business well, it will do well. And because others are doing well, so why British Airways doing well? Why is Ethiopia Airways taking over? Maroc Air has been there for ages. These are the flagship in Africa. Nigerian Air used to be powerful. We have more than 30-something aircraft until they ran it aground, But we see Ethiopia Air already, Rwanda Air, by one small country called Rwanda, is doing well. Swiss Air is there. Some of them have come together to form a gigantic aircraft. They call it a Star Alliance, So you can now actually, and then there's what we call Aeropolis. Aeropolis is a place around the airports that you can constitute to a city. You go to so many cities, what they are doing now, they are able to develop Aeropolis where it's from the name Metropolis. They develop Aeropolis where you can stay in that airport environment for 3 days. 4 days, 5 days, you have a feel of the city without leaving the airport environment. So those kind of things, those many axes, thinkers corner axes, can actually be developed into a kind of Aeropolis in the future when we have this kind of international, traffic, aviation traffic. So it's a bold vision for the future, and I believe that if the right things are done, then we will be very, very profitable for Enugu people.
All right.
Well, let's talk about collaboration, because apparently that's the way to go to boost any institution, right? And so let's talk about collaboration, and also where do you see Enugu Air in the next 5 to 10 years regarding collaboration, and are we even ready to assimilate, to accept all these Enugu Air is going to bring in here, the businesses and all that? Are we ready to accommodate all that in Enugu State? Do you think Enugu State is even that readily ready, to accommodate everything international flying or flights is going to bring to this state, right? So can I just address all those 3 questions?
Well, Enugu, from what I'm seeing, are really ready, and are even getting ready more. What we said earlier about the International Conference Center, where we can do the mice markets, it's already going to happen. Things are happening already. The marathon was also part of thing. Then the state can do cycling. Some of these things that don't take too much space, you just have to condone streets and you do cycling, like what we have the Tour de France. See the kind of this thing you bring. And Lagos State is doing a successful marathon. When they started, they also started small. Now it's getting bigger. They have done their 10th anniversary. So Enugu State has also started this year, I think. And then they can do it. So these are the things in the tourism area already. And we are talking about using cable cars and some other things. We are talking about intramodal train. We are doing a lot of things. So those things can make you be in Enugu. And the governor was talking about making a trip from Enugu to Soka for not be more than 20 minutes. If you have that kind of thing, then you have expanded the city. And people can Enugu have a lot of tourism sites.
Right.
For example, the iron smith works in Leja predates British civilization.
Right.
So we have many waterfalls in Enugu State. We have them. And so some of these things are just there. We have caves. We have a lot of things that can, if you see some of our forests, there was a time I traveled to Atekamako in Ogu local government. There was a place I got to, I parked the car. You will see mountains undulating, even the road was carved out from a mountain. And then you say, what is happening? So these kind of things, if we have them, the tourism alone, the people it will push in.
Yeah.
And then when you have tourism, then people will want to, they say Paris and die. There's a, oh, Paris is just, when you see, so my Lord, you cannot come and take me. But it can happen here, because also those places were built also. So the economic advantages are so much. So far it's properly run, and I believe this one will properly run.
What do you think about Kali Air?
That's what I talk about, deep thinking. When you have deep thinking in what you do. Somebody who was doing Kali Air was killing Calabar Carnival. So who is coming with Kali Air? Civil servants? Or what? So you will see that what Donald Duke did when he was governor was to do that tourism and entertainment. The Cross River was built to a crescendo of Calabar Carnival. In fact, people all over the world were by June, normally that period, by this time, hotels and Calabars were fully booked for December. 1 month public holiday, 2 months salary. So you receive when you are going for, your whole December is a holiday, you receive your pay, and then January you have received your pay also. And then it's a holiday. So the stretching, some people think that, but the productivity it brings, the people that come. And then we also had some of the emporiums and all those things that were supposed to bring people and the rest. So there was thinking, Obudukato Ranch was taken to another level. The people were bringing the cable car thing and all those things, they were bringing people. So you had, then, the subsequent governors didn't, keep that up. So the man, Donald Duke, was building the infrastructure that would bring in the passengers. What the other governors were supposed to do is just to enhance those things, and then when you have much, you can ask, okay, we want to run our. So you can see that strategic thinking already with Enugu State, already people are coming in, they are already building those infrastructure. The industry also are going to bring a lot of people. And all those things, like Nigerian gas in Yemen, you can see that people will come to buy the asphalt plants already. People are coming from other parts of the region to come buy. And so when you do all those things, people will move to Enugu. The coal is just there breathing. Enugu State is also in possession of the coal. It's just there breathing. By the time that one starts, you will see a lot of evidence. So there's strategic thinking into it.
Okay, sorry, I was asking about collaboration. Why I asked this question is because with collaboration, as I had a follow-up question to your question, to your answers and all that stuff about where you see Enugu Air in the next 5 to 10 years. So the collaboration that could actually build up to that. Can we have a conversation around?
Yeah.
Also, do you also see flying international routes to the next 5-10 years?
No, I told you that at the beginning of this conversation that I heard the governor say at the weekend that Enugu here hopes to do the international flight to catch up with the December deadline to bring our people back home. So we are not talking about 3 or 5 years. We are talking about 7 months, 5 to 7 months. Yeah. That is the target.
Is that very feasible?
Well, you dream and dare, and then to go for the dream. So that is the idea.
Is that over there?
No. If you don't dream it, if you don't work towards the dream, it won't happen. Then the collaborations of need already, the federal government graciously is working with, I think the Minister of Aviation will be there today. And your collaboration at that level is already sealed. So what I will also recommend is that there are international groups like the Star Alliance. Star Alliance is a conglomeration of so many airlines that now can assist each other in flying. So you could easily, that is why it's easy for an Ethiopian airline, for example, to just pick people here, move to Addis Ababa, and then from there, you just get all your routes. So it's a combination of so many aircrafts in the world. So it's a very good. There are other groups like Aviation Roundtable. There are also many other groups you can actually, that is why the ExeJet is into all those things, and there will be in these baby steps, they will be the one to navigate the path. So it's just to make sure that in all this, Enugu State have made great investment, and Enugu State will reap great reward.
All right, today is a big day in Enugu, and that is putting it mildly. Well, like you rightly said, we're going to see the Minister of Aviation. We're also going to see the CEO of ExeJet, possibly. We're going to see the Fidelity Bank MD. We're going to see the MD of FAN, the DG of NCAA. The governor, of course, will be there. The commissioners, all at the Akane Ibiam International Airport. So we can say that that's where all is happening in Enugu today. Away from the festivities that are set to begin from 11, when the flight would depart from Lagos to land in Enugu, possibly around 12 noon. What are your key expectations in the area of service delivery?
Well, you didn't say what I forgotten the technical name. This when a new aircraft will launch, the water.
Yes, the water
salute or something.
As well.
So it's supposed to also happen. For service delivery, I think I've said something earlier about that, where we expect ExeJet prides itself as a luxury experience niche. So we hope they bring that to bear in Enugu Air, so that when you fly the Enugu Air, you won't want to fly another airline. So that should be, it should not just be, oh, this one is our own. It's Enugu Air, it's our own, therefore we don't patronize it. Customers won't patronize it because it's bearing Enugu Air. They're patronising about the quality of customer service, of flying experience they get. And once you can ensure that, and you already, because it's Enugu Air, you already have the affinity about it. So once you just top it notch with service delivery, people would gradually gravitate towards using the services. So we are expecting top-notch, air delivery service, and well, knowing the person the governor is, I think you don't expect less from him.
What do you think of the appearance of the airline? Some people are wondering, why green, why white? What do you think about the color choice?
Those are just design. Those are designs, basically. And green, Nigeria, we are Nigeria, so you should have a touch of
Is that Enugu's color?
Well, Enugu color is, we said our color is yellow for our Texas, but I don't think we actually adopted I think we should start looking at that branding conversation to see whether whether it's green or, but I know that yellow, I remember the time when Governor Sullivan Chime brought in the yellow Texas and the rest with black stripes, and then I think the Lagos State governor was talking about, oh, this is Lagos Texas color. And we heard that Enugu State governor said, look, it was Lagos that stole our color, because the yellow and the black signify, the yellow signify the fire used in bringing coal, while the black is the coal. So when they ask the Lagos people, what does yellow and black signify in Lagos? You should be having blue and the white, because that is aquatic. but so those are the things. Maybe we could play around that conversation in the type of branding, and but for now, I think for every brand element, I'm a brand communication person too, for every brand element you use in your brand delivery, there is a reason behind every color used. So the colors represent some basic principles of your brand, of your thinking. So maybe we will ask the Commissioner of Transport to try to explain the colors. Those are some of the conversations that we
Right. All right. While we keep on moving, I think this is the right time to say Enugu Air. No. That's a great one. Welcome to, well, back home, I guess we can call it that. Now, for many of you who were probably hoping to see the special reports from, well, the weekend where Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie did speak at the International Conference Center, please stay tuned to Afia TV News today at 12 noon. Marvelous Apamaga. We're bringing you that story and how it did go down at ICC at the weekend when Chimamanda gave a powerful remark, powerful speech at the International Conference Center, of course, also launching and speaking to her book, Dream Count. Lots of people were so happy about that book, and that's saying thank you for her giving us that dash information.
That was very awesome. Like I love the way people love Chimamanda, right? Because I was in that hall and was seeing all the accolades she was getting, the the encore she was getting, when she stepped in, when she wants to speak, you could see everybody echoing and all that. So I love is, and also the kind of things she says and represents,
right.
The Igbo spirit and culture, and very resilient about having that conversation every damn time she is on that podium.
Yes, that's great. And of course, this is saying a big shout out to the Center for Memories for concluding their Things Fall Apart Festival 2025, a recorded massive success. And we cannot, Chimamanda's appearance, of course, crowned it all. So that was a great one from them. And she's a woman of power, so yes, she would always generate that kind of a clout. And this is also saying a big shout out to Alex Obodo, head of News and Current Affairs, Afia TV, for amazing. He did such a great
nice
job.
work.
A great job. Now, also before we let you go, Afia would be launching on Afia TV. Not only Enugu is launching, Afia is also launching on Afia TV today at 11:30 a.m. So do well to be a part of that broadcast. Find out how Afia would impact your life as business owners, inspire you to go ahead and start your own market
and
journey.
also talking about business, all shout outs to Cortex, or Qtix, by the way, cables for powering this season, season 2 of Afia is a great deal, and we love doing business with you guys. So welcome on board right here, Afia TV.
As you're saying all that, let Qtix to come and sponsor the morning show.
Well, Qtix.
We also love we also love doing business.
Yes, come around.
All right, and on that note, thank you, Dr. Ambrose, for joining us, and we hope to see you at Akanu Ibiam International Airport. Afia TV will be streaming the launch of Enugu Air live. So from 11 a.m., please stay tuned to Afia TV. We're going to be streaming all of the action at Akanu Ibiam Airport, the water salutes, probably cultural displays, the attendance of dignitaries, interviews, and you can trust I'm going to walk up to some people live and get them to interact with all of you. Ask them some salient questions. We also hear that former governors would be in attendance. So yes, we do have a lot of questions. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ambrose, once again.
Thank you for having me.
The morning show has come to an end. Up next is the Business Morning with Marvelous Apamaga today, because Nnamdi and I will be at Akanu Ibiam Airport bringing you feedback from there. I've been your host as always, Nathalie Uku.
And I'm Reno G. Have a splendid Monday and a week ahead. Bye for now.